The Utah Mammoth is sorta proud to present NASHCAST.
What the is a NASHCAST?
NASHCAST, the only hockey show on the planet. Hosted by a human speed bag, fourth line wannabe, healthy scratch, schnozzy moto, Tyson Nash.
Who the hell is Tyson Nash?
Never heard of him.
And the baritone with a brain, the velvet hammer, Mr. Silky, Tono Suave, the radio voice of your Utah Mammoth,
Go Blue!
Mike Folta.
Oh, Captain, my Captain!
NASHCAST begins now.
Ready for takeoff.
Here's Tyler Ganoush and Mickey Foghorn. Wait, what? Oh, here's Tyson Nash and Mike Folta.
Feeling good, folks. I'm back on the road. I'm in Vancouver in a beautiful hotel room. They thought I was the homeless guy when I walked into the hotel. It's been a while, but I'm back. I'm excited. I know I'm heading into for the game against the Calgary Flames. I'm excited. I know you've been on the road, Folts. Late night last night, landed I think 3:00. You said you jumped into bed last night, but tell me what's been going on, buddy. What's happening with the Mammoth? I know you guys had a tough loss against the Chicago Blackhawks.
Oh, I'm glad you're feeling good, Nasher. I'm shaking off the cobwebs from this first road trip. Looks like you're in they got you to 2-star La Quinta Inn back there. Come on.
I know.
Couldn't get you a better spot.
I know. I'm like, where's the painting on the wall? Like, maybe I got the bad room. I don't know what the janitor's closet. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but buddy, I'm ready. I am fired up. I'm coming in hot. I know you guys have been calling games and killing it, doing a great job, buddy, as always. But I'm coming into Salt Lake in about an hour, so I cannot wait to get on that bird and land back in that great city and see the jerseys for the first time in a first regular season game for myself, anyway.
It's going to be awesome. And you mentioned the road trip, Utah winning just 1 out of 2 on the trip. They had a tough loss against a young Chicago team the other night. And so the Mammoth are looking for a win. And it's kind of that point in the year where nothing is, nothing's too over the top, right? Like you lose a game, it's not the end of the world. We have a lot of season left to go, but to get out to that good start would be a big deal. And it would really, I think, solve a lot of angst for the Mammoth to pull out a win here tonight against the Calgary Flames team that's trying to get right themselves after dealing with some injury problems. But it's going to be an incredible atmosphere. Saw a ton of Mountain Blue on the road.
Wow.
Like especially in Denver in that first game. There was a bunch in Nashville as well. So excited to see what Delta Center looks like, renovations and all, with all the fans in the house here tonight against the Flames. We're going to be out on the SeatGeek Plaza. We're going to be like partying and living it up out there. Me and Adrian have already thrown up the bat signal, Tyson. We're going to be like tailgate hopping around downtown and popping in, saying hi to different people. So super excited for that. And you have to feel good. I mean, coming in off some work with Prime, you're back below or back between the benches. How did that feel?
It was good. It was good. We had a great hit with Paul Bissonnette, who, by the way, well, I'm gonna leave that maybe for later. I don't know if we're gonna anyway. Chris Pronger was there. Paul Bissonnette. We had a great hit from Toronto. So we were zipping it back and forth from East Coast to West Coast. Tons of laughs. And yes, I was back between the benches. It was a ton of fun. I gotta say there was a lot of rust on my game. I didn't have a training camp really, besides the one radio game we did together in preseason. So I thank you for that. But it was so much fun just to be back in the action, right? Calling games like we love to do. And I can't say a lot for the Vancouver Canucks. They are another team, much like the Mammoth, that are trying to just, get out the wrinkles, right? They were in the spin cycle all game long. The St. Louis Blues, that is a team to be reckoned with. I can tell you that. They got straight. They're young players. They're big guns for firing on all cylinders. Jordan Binnington was certainly Jordan Binnington last night, which was nice to see because his numbers are not great. But Again, it was fun on the road, team dinners with the broadcast crew. I loved it. I actually spent some time with our old friend and old boss, Travis Henderson, too. So that was a ton of fun as well. So
I was gonna say, I thought your arms looked a little shorter on camera. You were talking about the team dinners, getting the T-Rex arms, the alligator arms when the bill comes around.
thank God for Amazon. That's all I know.
Oh, hey, when you're between the benches, do you have one like earphone or ear pad or whatever it is? Do you have one kind of tucked away so you can hear what the guys are saying and stuff like that, or do you have them both over your ears and you can still just hear them because they're so loud?
Yeah, so typically they do. I guess they didn't have it on set yesterday. So I was kind of looking forward to it because I've always had two. And it kind of takes away from all the action, as you just mentioned, that's going around you, right? The conversations, just the rips going back and forth between the two teams. That's what I love the most about it. I played actually for both teams as well. So it was super fun just to be back in Vancouver where I was drafted, where it kind of got, all started for me in my NHL journey. Never actually played for the Canucks, but I played in their farm system for 3 seasons down in Syracuse. But lots of friends still in the organization on both sides. So it was nice to catch up.
The Tyson Nash Cup. Wow. What about who was the loudest chirper in that game between Vancouver and St. Louis?
Oh man, you know what? It was actually a pretty calm game, just because Vancouver had nothing to chirp about. I mean,
It was you. You were.
it was me. It was me. I was sucking all the oxygen in between the benches. Guys were making fun of me for some nose jokes down there. It was just nice to see Braden Shen up close and personal, doing his thing, scored a huge goal. Like, he's one of the best leaders in the game. He really is. How he leads on the ice, how he leads off the ice. Hopefully, we're going to have him on the show at some point. He promised me. And then just to be able to watch probably one of the best two defensemen between him and Makar in the world in Quinn Hughes. He wasn't at his best. Didn't get on the score sheet last night, I don't believe, but he was doing his thing, flying up and down the ice. And again, as you know, Folts, we are so blessed. And so grateful just to be able to watch and do what we do. It doesn't feel like real work.
Well, the Mammoth are facing another team from Western Canada, again, the Calgary Flames, and we actually kind of jumped behind enemy lines for this interview. Tyson, we've got the head coach of the Flames, who after we recorded, signed himself a little extension to stay in Calgary a little bit more. Ryan Huska is our guest here on the NASHCAST on our show today. And he was so honest and so gracious with his time. That was an amazing interview that I did not expect from an opposing head coach.
No, and me neither. I mean, just because, like he is Captain Serious because he has to be, right? But it was nice to see him let his guard down a little bit, tell some stories, bust some balls. This couldn't be better timing, right? They're a hungry, hungry team. I got to imagine he is absolutely miserable right now, dropping 2 games in a row. I'm hoping to have dinner with him tonight, night before the game, as we're taping this segment. So I'm going to get deep again, back in his wallet. Free is my favorite F word. So hopefully Ryan picks up the tab. But again, I hope you guys enjoy. Ryan Huska, everybody.
Well, welcome back to We Have a Show for You. I got my old centerman, my boy, my babysitter, our fearless leader, fellow 3-time Memorial Cup winner. Actually, forget winner. Let's call it what it is. Ryan Huska, champion. We were champions. This man was drafted the 76th pick overall by the Chicago Blackhawks. What a journey this man has been on. Current coach of the Calgary Flames, took the reins over for Daryl Sutter. He brought the Flames out of the ashes to a 41-27 record. Ryan Huska, buddy, welcome to the show, my man.
Hey, thanks for having me. It's hard for me. I'm trying not to laugh, but I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, you didn't like the intro. You probably loved the intro. I mean, things haven't changed, Husk. I know you were my babysitter. That's probably why you lost all your hair, but we appreciate you, buddy.
Those were some of the best days of my life playing with you. We had, I I would like to say one of the best lines in junior hockey. You were all over the place. I took care of the defensive responsibilities, and then we just let Donor do his thing.
The big horse, we let him run wild.
It was awesome. Great times.
I love it. Well, we appreciate you. This is Mike Folts. He's our radio guy. This guy has the best, maybe the best pipes in the entire National Hockey League.
That's awesome.
I don't know about
nice
that.
to meet you, Mike.
Ryan, what was this guy like in juniors? Like we hear the stories, but there's some of them are hard to believe.
They're all true, and probably more so than what you've heard. Like he's exact the same, which is quite amazing. I don't know, like the ball of energy the whole time. He was always into things. He was stirring things up. He made life entertaining for all of us, as he continues to do for you.
PH squared, Husk. Remember that? Folts, we used to write this on the board in Kamloops. PH squared, if it was like a Friday night, Saturday night, we were off to the Blue Max afterwards. If we won, and we very rarely lost in Kamloops, but it meant play hard, party hard. And boy, did we ever do that, eh, Husk?
Man, I remember one night, my roommate at the time, like we all lived in kind of the same area of Kamloops. So our last year, Tyson and my last year in Kamloops, the guys started to feel pretty good about themselves. So we would go out a fair bit, probably more than we should have. So we all started to get a little bit worried that Hazer was going to catch us. So we started to be a little quieter. Like guys wouldn't tell each other that we were going out. So there was one night, my roommate and I, Nolan Baumgartner and I, curfew call comes in, out we go to the Blue Max. We walked in the door, and I swear to God, there was like 19 guys from our team already in there. Nasher leading the charge. It just became comical after a while. And the next day you go to the rink in the morning praying that your number's not on the board to go see Hazer. And for whatever reason, probably because we won all the time, they never really said anything to us.
Yeah. Oh my God. It was the best, Folts. I got to tell you, but Husk, I know. So coach of the Calgary Flames, I know what you guys go through. I mean, I see you guys late on the plane. The eyes are bugging out, the video that you're going through, but your summer. How was your summer? Much needed, I'm sure, after what a season that was. 41 and 27. That was a pretty impressive second year for you.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. We came up just a little short, that tiebreaker. We just didn't have the tiebreaker to get ourselves in, but we feel like we're going in the right direction. But in regards to summer, it was wonderful. I have a daughter that's graduated university now. She's moved back home doing a graduate program. It's crazy. We're getting older
old,
like that,
eh?
But and then we did a family trip to Italy, which was a bucket list thing for me. So we spent 2 weeks over there. My family met up with my sister's family. And my mom was over there as well. It was just a great 2 weeks doing something that I've always wanted to do. Go to Italy. I wanted to eat a lot of food. I wanted to drink a lot of wine, and I was able to accomplish all of that.
You're not drinking the box wine still, are you?
Guaranteed.
Hey, you're an NHL coach, for Pete's sake.
It's funny. My brother-in-law, every time I still go over to their house, he's like, "Hey, grab yourself a glass of wine." I'm like, "Is it in the fridge?" He's like, "Yeah," or "It's in the cupboard in the box."
Never change our roots, eh?
Oh man, it's the best.
Ryan, you guys exceeded expectations last year in Calgary. When was it apparent to you that your group was better than what a lot of the people on the outside were picking you guys to finish?
Really, in my opinion, it was early on. We got spanked in Vancouver in the first period, our first game of the year, but we got to our game after that. We came back to win that game, and then we rattled off a number in a row where I think our players kind of understood how we had to play on a nightly basis to win. And it was kind of from that early stretch of the season where I thought, yeah, this team's capable of doing things. And I think once we saw the early success, the players bought into how we had to play, and that made me pretty excited. And we were able to keep taking steps along the way. And if we had a dip, we didn't let that dip last all that long. I felt like we were able to get out of it fairly quickly. Unfortunately, we were 1 point shy, but that's something we're going to work to rectify this year.
Oh, so close, so close. Husk, let's go way back. I know we're doing a big initiative in Utah, trying to grow the program, grassroots levels. I know you grew up in Cranbrook, British Columbia. I mean, it's just part of our DNA to be a hockey player, but a young Ryan running around the house in poopy-filled diapers. How did you get involved in hockey?
My dad, he was a farmer, never played, but he loved watching the game. So when I was born, I think he put me on the ice early in Cranbrook, and then he got transferred to Trail, where I started playing minor hockey there. So, and then you quickly love the game. I had a blast doing it, fell in love with it, and things just kind of snowballed from there. And you don't really know how far you can go with it. There was a scout and trail that from Kamloops that watched us play. I mean, not a lot of people would go to trail to watch us play. But Glenn Sanders was his name, and he got me listed with Kamloops. My mom wasn't happy at the time. She didn't understand, well, what gives you the right to be able to say that you're listing my son? We ended up, spending some time in Kamloops in the summers. Then as a 16-year-old, we go there together, and, I can tell a story in a bit. Not really knowing if we were going to make the team because Tice was there, Darcy Tucker was there. But there was another player that they were really high on, and we were playing in a really high on, like we were all second fiddle.
Grant Stefanowski.
That's his name. And we were playing in it was a blue-white game. And really, I mean, the older players, it's not physical at all. And I have still to this day probably never seen a guy hit as hard as he was hit that night. Tyson ran over Stefanowski and basically, I hate to say it, ended his career. So it probably opened the door for one or all of us to make that team as 16-year-olds. But that's Tice,
Oh my!
So I guess I have to say sorry to Grant, but thanks to Tice along the way.
I was good for something, that's for sure. That poor bastard. Oh my God. I remember Bob Brown, our general manager at the time, he brought me into his office after that. I literally was crying. He's like, there was no hitting. We weren't supposed to allow hitting. What did you do? This guy was our number one pick. I'm like, oh my God, I'm sorry. He hit me first, though. What do you want me to do? But secretly, they kind of loved it, right? I mean, you're a coach now. I mean, would you not love that, seeing that in training camp?
Well, maybe not if it's our number one guy.
I might have did that to Pavel Dimitra, too, in St. Louis.
I'm not surprised. Hey, you got to make a name for yourself some way. So that part of it I love. I love when guys like yourself are like, all right, maybe my skill that I had in minor hockey is not going to quite get the job done. I've got to change the game. So I have so much respect for guys that are able to do that. And think about your career, you found a way at every level. And that's what it's being a part of those teams with guys like you, but I'm still proud of all the stuff the guys have done, yourself included. I think it's so cool.
Ryan, you look at Nasher, he's wearing the youth medium shirt, like he's bopping out of that thing. Was he big on the weights when you got there in Kamloops too?
One of his nicknames in Kamloops was the Skinny Goon. So early on, he was not very big. The one thing that he did have better than anybody was the suntan. Like the guys called him Magda from Something About Mary. Like he looked like a crispy piece of bacon. So he was skinny, really great tan. But when we started to get like 19 and 20, he started to get a little thicker, and those extra small shirts started.
Was it always a natural tan? Is it like a spray tan? Is he hitting the bed?
I think it was a bit of both, to be honest with you. If he wasn't happy with what the sun was providing, I think he did a little bit of extra.
I stepped it up with those little goggles. Remember those? The fluorescent lights? I just changed Folts. I just changed all my lights in my house, in my billet's house, to the ultraviolet tan lights. So,
oh man.
Where is Kamloops, by the way? Like, I've only been to BC to go to Vancouver. So where is Kamloops? Like, give us an idea. Is it a small town, like kind of up in the mountains?
I think it's about 65,000, maybe a little bigger nowadays. It's kind of middle of the province, I would say, about 2 hours from Kelowna, north of Kelowna. So it was a pulp mill town, I guess. It was a great spot for guys to grow up and play together. There was things for us to do, but not enough for us to get into a lot of trouble. It just forced us to be together all the time, and a lot of great memories were created by playing there.
Yeah.
Husk, let's go back to as 16-year-olds. You touched on it a little bit. I know we won a Memorial Cup. I didn't play in that final game. I was up in the stands in my suit. You were actually on the bench in Seattle. But what do you remember about that 16-year-old year for you? I know we played with guys like Sado or Niedermeyer, but what did you take I mean, we were still wetting the bed at 16, right? But
Oh
we're
God.
in the
Yeah.
Western Hockey League playing with all these unreal players. But what did that mean for you?
It was an honor for me, but it was very much an eye-opening experience. Like I still remember to this day, almost feeling like I don't really belong here. Like what am I doing? Because I felt like I very much dipped your toe in a little bit because you didn't want to ruffle feathers. I was lucky that Meter was my roommate while he was there, but it's the little things that you remember that allow us to win games. And maybe that's the coach in me now, but like you remember the goal that Zach scored, like all those things come
Oh, he
off.
tells me about it every day still.
Well, I'm sure. Like, sends you the video.
Oh, yeah.
But they start with other things like how hard Scott came back. Terrible drop pass for sure, but the plays that guys were able to make, and to have a firsthand view to see what elite players like Daryl Sador and Scott Niedermayer were like when they played the game, and to have a firsthand look at that was unbelievable. But then you also got to see like the best in the world still do goofy things. Like they were kids. And if you remember at the Memorial Cup that first year, we're all waiting for the bus to come pick us up in Seattle, and it comes around the corner. Scott Niedermayer and Jared Bouquet, who is an agent now, are on the roof of the bus, like pretending they're surfing. And again, the bus isn't going fast, but you talk about Bob Brown, who was our GM at the time. He almost had a heart attack because our best player is on the roof surfing on the way, like to go somewhere for this Memorial Cup. So
Like
I
the
think the bus
first
driver might have
overall pick,
lost his
Folts.
job.
Wasn't he like the first overall pick to the New Jersey Devils? He popped the hatch in the back and literally got on while the bus was moving. It's insane. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is, especially coming from Needs.
The stupid things, but you realize in a hurry that they're just like you and I. They're the same type of guys. They're only a lot more skilled and talented than we were. But it was awesome, and for me too. The other thing I would say was the first time I really got great coaching. Yeah, you know, in minor hockey, your coaches, they're really good. A lot of them are dads. They do what they can do. But when we got there, Tom Rennie was different level for us. Like I'd never been in practice and drills that Tom would run where you actually had to think about what you're supposed to be doing. So it was my first taste of real coaching.
What about like looking around that room and knowing how many of those guys were going to make an impact in the NHL? Like, was that super obvious? Because there's plenty of guys that don't necessarily make that jump, right, from being good in juniors to being good in the NHL. But there's a ton of guys from those teams that played several games in professional hockey, whether in the AHL or in the NHL.
Yeah. And I think when you look at our last team there, if I'm fast forwarding a little bit, I think the number was like 19 guys played pro hockey off that team. And that team, you knew there were some special players that were going to play a long time. And basically just by some of the names, of course, that you'd recognize with Jerome and Shane and Nasher and Darcy Tucker, you knew guys were going to play. We were that good of a team at that time. The only reason or time we lost a game is if we just didn't show up. Like nobody could compete with us. We were that good. And I remember at one time the Hockey News, which was a magazine, rated our team as the best team outside of the NHL, that we would win in the American League. That's how good our team was. So we had a lot of guys that we knew were going to become really good players. But again, I go back to what was kind of ingrained in us was the compete side of thing in Kamloops. And when the skill learned how to compete and work, it was a scary thing. It was awesome.
Oof, goosebumps. So, Folts,
Yeah.
Ryan Huska, I mean, he was 16. He scored 4 goals. I scored 1 in the last game of the season after I got all my teeth knocked out of my face by Steve Passmore as a 16-year-old. So he scores 17 the next year as a 17-year-old. He gets drafted 76th overall by the Chicago Blackhawks. Took a few years. You put up 18, then you put up 19 goals for the Hawks. You finally get called up, but you're playing alongside guys like Chris Chelios, Probert, Brent Sutter. I mean, Denny Savard was one of the coaches there. What was that like? And I mean, just walking out on the ice, NHL, first time.
Yeah. Hey, and I will say, like, I had one NHL game played, so it was a very quick cup of coffee for me. And for
Doesn't
me
matter.
to get that game, you're right. And that's what I'm very proud. My kids give it to me all the time. They're like, "Dad, you played one game, like enough." But I was in the organization for a long period of time. I was the captain of their minor league team, and Bob Murray was the GM at the time. And I think in my final year with the organization, it was more of a reward where you've done a lot of good things for us. We're going to give you this game. But as Tice said, there's some great players that you get to be around. And even if it was just for, like I was up for, I think it was about a week or 10 days total. It was one of the best experiences of my life. And I'm so grateful to have had the opportunity to play in that one NHL game. And it happened to be against the Calgary Flames, and Jerome McGinley was playing on the other side. So everything seems to be connected in some way, but it's something, of course, that I'll never forget. I will say that I recognized pretty early on, I wasn't good enough to be an NHL player, and I didn't have the fortitude that Nasher would have had to change his game totally to be a guy that was consistent playing for a long time in the NHL. So I had to shift gears and try to get there a different way, because I knew I wasn't good enough. But I'm happy with how everything kind of turned out.
I want to get into that shifting of gears, but first, I'm actually from Indianapolis, where you spent a couple of years. What was it like to play and live there for a little bit? Were you hanging out with the Pacers, going to Indy 500s and things like that?
I loved it there. I absolutely loved it. There was Connor's Pub was a place we frequented all the time. I think it was Broad Ripple was the area where all the bars were. Pacers and us, we didn't really, because we're the low end guys, and they are the big deal around that city. But it was a lot of fun to be in Indianapolis. It was a great city. All of the guys enjoyed playing there. And I don't know, you hear rumors that they might be floating around to get back in the NHL at some point down the road, which I think would be pretty cool because it's a neat spot. But loved it there. I will say I loved it there.
Well, Huska, we talked about this before we actually started recording this, just your journey. I love the fact that, doing the research, and I've known you forever, right? Since we were 16-year-old kids. But your journey, certainly unique. You switched to coaching. You're an assistant coach now with the Kelowna Rockets. You spent 12 years in the organization, 1 with Adirondack, 3 with the Stockton Heat. 16 years. And then 5 on top of that as a player, basically in the minors, in junior hockey. You finally make it. How many times, Husk, did you scratch your head? Were you talking to your wife, Denise, and going, I just want to quit. I don't think I'm ever going to make it. That had to have gone through your head.
I think every once in a while, I think it's probably normal that it does creep in to your mind. But I felt that if I stayed with it, eventually I would get an opportunity, whether it be an assistant coach at somewhere along the line to coach in the NHL, or if I could keep progressing along the way, maybe a head coaching opportunity would come available. But when you think of that kind of journey, like, you don't get there unless people trust you or put their belief in you. And Brad Treleving was unreal for me along the way.
Him.
Like, oh my God, there's been different coaches along here or my time in Calgary, but he saw something in me that he kept me around as an assistant coach, which isn't normal. So I've been around a long time, I feel like, because of Brad initially, and then Connie, who you know very well.
My old centerman too.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
God love him. Turbo.
But I know, I've heard that. The guys call him that. I see why. But he put, his faith and his trust in me when, probably most people wouldn't have. So you need to have people that are in your corner and believe in you a little bit. And I feel so fortunate that I've had a lot of people in this Flames organization that have done that and have given me a chance to kind of be where I'm at right now.
Well, a big part of the NASHCAST, sorry, Folts, is bringing on a Nash crasher. And we have someone, when they found out you're joining the show, wants to say hello. He's got his hair on sideways. I'm not sure there's much hair left there, but Jason Struds. Struds, welcome to the show, buddy.
Yeah, good. You guys, you're welcome. You're welcome for having me on, for finding some time for me, you guys.
Oh, it's funny one, because I always go back to the time about everybody changes along the way. But the good people that we grew up with don't change who they are. The one thing that should probably change is the way Strud looks after his hair. That thing is receding like almost to the back of his head, and he still thinks that hair is holding on, and he won't get rid of it. I love it. I love it that he's holding true.
Haas, come on now. Listen, the one thing you need to change is your shirts. It looks like you're wearing John Sheena's dress shirts on the bench. There's so much room in there. Like, you're next about as big as the Nasher's Adam's apple. We got to get you some new dress shirts.
Those are but
go ahead,
Top Taylor. When we were the best team in Major Junior, we used to get a free suit jacket. I still have that thing.
Randy River special, along with the Old Spice. Struds wouldn't know because he never won the star of the game ever, but
Good. I was
even
looking after you guys. I was babysitting all you guys all the time from the scary people
Yeah,
on the team.
he used to babysit us by getting speed bagged every game as a young guy in junior.
oh, I know. Like, honestly, Husk, I felt so bad for him. I've never seen a guy get so beat up by Mad Dog Ferrone. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
I mean, he gave him so many
Oh,
lefts,
yeah.
he was begging for a right.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and you
It
started
was
it
like-
after. I had to fight because of you. And where were you? You're
Sorry.
hiding on the bench behind Husk, and Husk was hiding behind Shane Doan. It's a lineup of guys hiding up behind these guys.
I love it. I hope you took the head cover off, Struds. I mean, for a big guy, what are you, like 6'4", 6'5"? I've never seen like a lack of compression, Husk, in my life on a golf
Right.
ball.
Yeah. No, and I get it. I mean, Nasher, you have the shortest swing. Like I thought your hockey shot was bad. And then I saw your golf swing. I'm like, now I get it. It's genetics. You can't fight genetics.
I
What's
love
wrong
it.
with you guys?
I
You
know.
know, that's the beauty about this crew. Like, you can not talk to a guy or not send a text for a couple months or whatever the case is, but it always goes back to this. It's just ripping guys. But the other thing that I would say about people like this, if there was ever anybody, you know, of our friends that we grew up with in Kamloops and, you know, minor pro, that you need a little help or something, they would be the first people that help. Like, these two guys are two of the best people around, and I mean that sincerely. But I seriously would like Strud to deal with the hair.
No,
well,
you know
it's
what?
like a
Honestly,
dead cat on
Husk,
his head. I mean, that's what
No,
we're
I
here
know.
for, Husk. We're trying to help
I know.
Struds out. I mean, he looking like a soft 5 right now. He used to be an
No.
8, and Struds, I know Husk can coach, but I also know he can't sing worth a lick. So we got a little video here that we're going to play for
Is he swallowing the mic?
Nolan Baumgartner. Bring it home.
Little dance going. Oh. I got.
Oh my God! All right, that's enough. Let's end it there.
What is that? What is that, guys?
Did I hit the note? Did I hit the high note there?
I got sucked into a lot of stupid things. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well,
These
I
guys
think
made me do a lot of dumb things.
your biggest regret is wearing that same jacket for the home opener last year.
Husk, is that true? Like, you're on the bench and you're getting text messages. Struds is blowing up your phone, he told me. I mean, coming from the fashion police. Is that true?
You know that every once in a while, like, I forget to take my watch off on the bench, you know, those iWatches, and the texts come through on them, and it'll go off, and I'm like, what the hell? Is everything okay at home or something? What's going on? And again, I'm like, oh my God.
You're not busy, Husk. What are you doing? You're not busy?
Oh man. But I do the same thing when I watch him on TV. I send him some notes about Jesus. Like, fix yourself up. Like, Strud now, you can tell. Remember that little hole he's got in his chin, Nasher?
Oh.
When he was younger, it was way more prominent, but his face is puffing out a little bit now, so it's kind of being a little bit hidden. But it's still there. I can still
It's
see
like
it.
a giant divot. It's the ass chin, we call it. Now it's growing hair out of it.
Brad Pitt has the same thing, boys.
Hey, Husk, I also wanted to ask you, I mean, I know we won 3 cups, and when you win 3 cups, I know you get a banner in the stands. I think we got that as well. I know, Struds, you don't have one, but I'm sure you have something on Don Hayes' mantle beside his bed, because God, did he love you. The night train, wakey, wakey.
Oh, there you go.
They're just
I know,
missing
how do
one
I get
name
up
right
there?
there.
How can I not get on that? Like, you tell me there's not a place between Tucker and Aginla for me? I mean, like, it's
The o-
incredible.
The only way you get
on
on
that
there is
list.
if you climb a ladder and get your crayons out, Strud.
That's a sad one. I'll have to go back. Maybe I should go back more often and maybe they'll put me up there.
I love it. I love it. Are we not going to see her swing?
Something.
Are we not going to see her swing here, Struds?
The guys,
See one up.
The guy's already gone. They took my bag, so I can't. I'm looking good. I'm already I think I'm -1 through 4 holes, so pretty good.
Oh, jeez. Are you at Rundle Park, the par 3?
Hitting it deep. Just had a nice chip in, but whatever. Jolly Roger. That's what my mom calls it. So same thing.
So Struds, I got to ask you, I mean, I love to see guys have success. I mean, we all had great careers as hockey players, but it's so incredible, right? I mean, to see guys like Husk, yourself, just having so much success with life after hockey.
Yeah, Husk he's put in so much time to get this. I think, he started out as an unpaid assistant in the Western League with Kelowna after you were done playing. And now here we are over 2 decades later, and you did an unreal job with the Calgary Flames last year. So I mean, we're all really proud. We were a really close team, and we're happy to see the guys do well. But I knew Husk could be a good coach, for 2 reasons. One, he really knew the game. He was always helping guys. He's kind of like another coach on the bench. And then the other thing, he never went in the corners. So coaches don't go in the corners.
That's where he sent me and Donor.
So he stands in the middle still. I watch him practice. He's in the middle yelling. So he's perfect. He was already way ahead of the curve for that. But he is a really good coach, and the Flames are so lucky to have him.
Thank you. You're a good man, even though I think you're full of it most times in the things that you say, but I appreciate that.
Oh, I love it.
For Struds and Husk, did you guys know that Nasher was going to become like a media guy after his playing career? Was that evident when you were playing with him in juniors?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Well, he didn't have the skill to be much more.
Oh, man.
I love it. You guys are ruthless.
But totally. But honestly, the things that we used to do, or Nasher would try to get you to do with him, there's some great stories I would never repeat, but just one of a kind. So yes, we did have a pretty good idea that Nasher was going to be some sort of media personality as he is right now, and killing it.
Yeah. No, he was always chirping, always in the middle of everything, chirping guys, chirping his own teammates. It was fun, but it was, chaotic. So he's perfect. He's perfect for it.
Well, Struds, I know you're golfing on a Groupon. I want to say thanks. We appreciate you jumping on. I'm sure you're going to send me a bill for this, but we appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. I got to sign an autograph after this to get a free round. So, but thanks for having me on, Husk. Good luck this year, buddy. I'll be blowing you up during the game. Don't dismiss my text, even though you're not that busy on the bench. There's other coaches on there.
True enough. Have a good round, you sandbagger.
Yeah, see you guys.
Hey, Husk, I know you got to go as well. I know you got a big game. Just a couple more from us, but for you, in your mind, I know Utah's been through it. Once Phoenix, rebuild. Nobody wants to hear rebuild, right? And especially no coach wants to hear rebuild. Your team last year, what they did was absolutely remarkable. I know you're a big part of it, but is that kind of motivation for you? I know it has been in Utah over the years with guys like Keller and Schmaltz. I mean, they don't want to be a part of any sort of rebuild. They're hockey players. They want to win a Stanley Cup.
Absolutely. And we're the same. So we don't actually, media talks a lot about rebuild and where we are, but we don't bring that up in our dressing room. We have too many proud older players, and they have expectations that we're winning. And that's what I do love about our group, is they've really brought in some of our younger players that we're asking that are going to drive us forward. But the guys that still really run the show for us are 6 to 7 older players that expect to win every time they step on the ice. And they are the reason why I felt like we were competitive last year and we're within 1 point of making the playoffs. I have so much respect for our older players and the way they approach games on a daily basis that it's almost Nasher, like they won't let this team get pulled into that rebuild category. They're like, no, we're not there. We're in the picture right now, and we'll continue to be because of the work those guys put in.
Has your approach to this part of the year, training camp and the start of the season, has your approach to that aspect changed at all as you've been a coach, the way you kind of start to ramp things up?
I think the longer that you do it, Mike, your first year, you're like so amped up and you're so stressed about everything along the way. I think now you have a better understanding of what you have to do as a coach to make sure your players are in a position to be ready for the opening day. So preparation is so important for me that the players have to know that we're dialed in and prepared, and they have a real good understanding of what we expect out of them. So there is no confusion in that area. Um, but I don't feel as hyped up or like I got to get everything accomplished in one day because I know the runway's a little bit longer. And as a young coach, you don't necessarily know that. And for me, it's now about working with players, making sure they're as prepared as they can be for our opening game of the regular season. So that has changed a little bit over the years.
All right, Husk, I lied. I got one more for you. I know you've been a big part of junior hockey and the American Hockey League, but how do you balance in the National Hockey League developing young players, but also because we know the NHL, and you hear this all the time, the NHL is not a developmental league. It's about wins and losses, right? But how do you balance that?
Well, that's to me the way the game has changed over the last little while is the young guys are becoming more and more important, and they do have a different skill set than what players have had in the past. And I think it's the coach's challenge to make sure that they don't lose what makes them a special player, but at the same time, as you said, our jobs are based on winning and losing. So you have to find a way to work with them, allow them to make mistakes, Nasher, because they're going to make them. Hold them accountable when they do, but at the same time, you have to let them be who they are because eventually they're going to be the guys that are driving your team. You just have to really work daily to get them to understand the importance of situations and those decisions they're making at the key times of games. So I'm a believer in incorporating young guys into the lineup. I think that's how you create some competition and you drive your team forward. It's a coach's job to make sure that they understand the difference when to take risk and when maybe not to take risk. And you hope that by being, open with your communication with them, they'll figure it out sooner than later so they know when games are really on the line and when they really matter, what they should be doing in certain situations.
Husk, I love you, buddy. So proud of you. So happy for you. All the success that you've had, your journey, where you're at right now. Good luck with the Calgary Flames. Thanks so much for taking a little time with me and Folts.
Thank you, buddy. You're the best. And, when I got this text, all the stories kind of keep coming back to me. And I found myself giggling over the last couple days. So you're one of the best out there, Nasher. And I mean that.
I appreciate it, buddy. I will not blow your phone up. I promise.
Sorry. Well, I hope you guys all enjoyed that one. An absolute beauty. My old centerman, back in the Kamloops Blazers days when we were winning Memorial Cups. He was our fearless leader. This guy babysat me every single game. Him or me and Shane Doan. I mean, that was a handful. I got to tell you, he was the responsible one. We always kind of knew he was going to be a coach, Folts, because he was so responsible. He was an X and O's type of guy. He was always in the right spot, and he would just let us go, right? And so I think it kind of helps him in his coaching career, like just being able to manage, even way back then when we started out as 16-year-old kids in Kamloops, living on our own, just managing it all because Ryan Huska has literally coached and done and seen it all in this league.
And an interesting journey because he's made it from like through the minor league systems as a coach, right? Then an assistant, then a head coach. And it can be hard for organizations to look at an assistant and say like, okay, you're the good cop as an assistant. Now you're qualified to be the bad cop as a head coach, but he's made that transition and it feels like he's getting the most out of a Calgary roster that's not the most talented in its division or in the NHL, but some really good young players. And they didn't make a lot of moves like Ryan was saying in the offseason because they feel pretty good about their core. But hopefully Utah will have its way with the Flames here tonight. And maybe Ryan will have to go back to the drawing board to figure something out against the Mountain Blue. But that starts off a homestand. The game tonight starts off a 3-4 game homestand for the Mammoth. We got games on Friday, then games on Sunday as well. San Jose and then Boston. That game against the Boston Bruins is a big one, Tyson. You're getting back in the saddle.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go out between the benches and back in the studio. NASHCAST is going to be our first one. Boston Bruins, Folts. I cannot wait. All summer, I've been chomping at the bit, licking my chops, trying to, on the horn, trying to call. That's the hardest part of the NASHCAST is getting the guests, getting them to commit, finding the right times that work for everybody. But I can tell you, my co-host, I am going to be so heartbroken, so upset because you're also going to take a step away from the NASHCAST and you're going to be doing the radio for that Boston Bruins game. So I'm bringing in Mike Commodore as my co-host, buddy. So he's got big shoes to fill. I told him, Big Red, Clifford the Red Dog. He's growing the hair back for the show. He is coming up to Salt Lake City, so he'll be in the studio. I know he's nervous because, as I said, he's got big shoes to fill, buddy.
Unbelievable. Okay, I'm getting replaced by another NHLer here. That's comforting. It's going to be a loaded show, though, Nasher. Are you allowed to say everybody that's coming on?
Well, I think if we want, more than 5 people to tune in, I think it would be a good idea because we got Paul Bissonnette. My good buddy Paul Bissonnette is nasty, is coming in hot. So he's not going to be there in person because he's doing games for TNT the following night, but he will be on the show calling in from Atlanta in the first period.
Wow.
And then we have another absolute beauty, a guy that I called on the phone to ask to come on the show. We ended up talking for 58 minutes because this guy just loves, and I mean loves, to tell stories. Marty McSorley, one of my childhood heroes, a guy that I grew up watching from Sherwood Park, Alberta, just outside of Edmonton. My dad had season tickets to the Edmonton Oilers, and I was there front and center to watch everything Marty McSorley did. And you want to talk about entertaining? This guy was beyond entertaining and nasty and dirty and mean and a winner and a guy that just worked just endlessly to get better at his game, right? And I mean, this guy he could do everything. He played defense, he played forward, and he was literally Wayne Gretzky's bodyguard. So I can't wait for everyone to hear all these stories that Marty and Biss are going to tell. I hope it gets off the rails a little bit because, as you know, folks, that's when the show is at its best.
Is the studio still gonna be there when the Boston Bruins leave town? Like is that place gonna burn down with you guys causing shenanigans and telling stories and having a good time in there?
Yeah, it's I can't even imagine. I'm a little bit nervous again, right? Like just to do it all. I know we've been doing the pod all summer, and you've been babysitting me, so I'm a little bit nervous to be without you, buddy. You're my fearless leader. So hopefully we get it done. Hopefully we have a good show, and I think everyone's going to enjoy it.
That's unbelievable. So people can watch that on SCG Plus. Mammoth Plus is the best way to watch that. And it's going to be an alt cast. So you guys are going to be watching the game, right? Like it's a way to consume the game, but it's like if you're with your buddies at a bar or if you're with your buddies hanging out at your house, like on your couch, just telling stories, except the stories are going to be from NHLers and some of the biggest personalities in hockey. So I can't wait for that, man. There's a whole schedule of the NASHCAST that's out right now. And this is a banger to start out. It's a Sunday evening and you've got some pretty big names with you. So I'm fired up for you. I'm a little nervous too, just because we're gonna have a lot of beef on the bun in the building between you three.
It's gonna be fun, buddy. It's gonna be fun. Again, I am nervous. I can't wait to just get the stories flowing. Like I don't miss playing hockey at all. Like I miss the paychecks. I said that, and that's certainly the case. I definitely miss the paychecks, but I just miss the stories. I miss just sitting around and busting balls and laughing and joking with old teammates, guys you never played with, but you always admired. And I think you would, concur that my favorite part of this job is doing the research. And as much as I knew Ryan Huska, who you guys just watched, I didn't know all those stories, right? I didn't really know all the things that he went through as a player, as a coach, because I was going through my own stuff, right? So to kind of like take a step back and just focus on an old teammate or a friend or a new friend, like it's pretty remarkable. So I hope everyone enjoyed it, and I can't wait for October 19th, the Boston Bruins. I hope you guys all tune in.
Last time the Bruins were in town, that was an overtime win for the Mammoth. It was their first ever home overtime win. So Should be an electric game. Should be an electric show as well. Remember to follow us on socials, NASHCAST Official on Twitter and Instagram. Tyson, I know there's going to be a ton of great content that comes out of that show on Sunday, so looking forward to that. But until then, we will see everybody next week, and we'll see everybody on Mammoth Plus following along on the NASHCAST on Sunday.